What's good everyone, I'm Raid, welcome back on my channel. In today's video I'm going to do a breakdown about a beat I made recently because I think it actually came out pretty good and I want to show you guys how I did it. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new, maybe leave a like down here if you're going to like the video or the beat, and let's start with the breakdown. I started this beat by raising the BPM to 164 and then I had this melody going on my mind, so I just put the note there. It was C sharp, F sharp and G sharp. And for the following part, I use the note next to G sharp in the scale, so A. I always use this technique with the notes that are next to each other in the scale to create a lot more tension in the beat. After that, I just copy and pasted the notes over, and then in the second 4 bar as well, bringing up the whole thing 5 semitones. After all that, I just added some kind of top line. So I use the root note and then the notes next to each other again. So that's what we got so far. I used the preset from Analog Lab to make this melody, and then I used a parametric EQ to cut out the low ends, and also a portal to give some kind of higher frequencies to this melody. After laying down this melody I had on my mind with Analog Lab, I just layered it with a keyscape instance. The melody is the same, I just added the low notes too, and for the effects, this time only the parametric EQ. Then I also added this really simple strings melody. I just used the Roland plugin I showed you before in my channel. And yeah, I just followed the notes we played with the top line with the main melody. And that's what it sounded like. It was just some layering I added because I wanted the melody to sound fuller. And yeah, the last element I added with this melody was a pad from Analog Lab. I just used the note we played before, and that's what it sounded like with some effects on it that I'll show you in a second. I just added a parametric EQ to cut out the low ends, and then a Valhalla vintage reverb. Then you can see I added a shaper box with a sidechain preset, but I'm just going to let it play throughout the verse section. So yeah, the last touches with the melody was just a low piano playing the root note, and the usual church bell with some delay on it. So yeah, with that I was actually done with the melody. I just made some changes in the arrangement to give the beat some more interesting sound. And after I was done with the melody, I picked up some drums. I started with the 808 pattern. I used a really simple pattern for the 808. I just added some kind of variation here and there to make the drums pattern sounds more interesting. So yeah, I started with these notes on the root note. Then I added a variation here with a C sharp. So again, the root note, but 1 octave up. Here is just the same thing as here. At the end of the first bar, I added a roll with the 808, everything up 1 octave again, and then I made a 1/3 step roll. So after the roll, I just went down to the root note following the melody. So it was F sharp now. I copied and pasted the same pattern. I just added another note here for the variation. So 1 octave up again, and then back to the F sharp 5. And at the end, I just copy and pasted the roll I made here, but I kept it down at the F sharp 5. So yeah, that was the 808 pattern. The kick pattern is just following the 808. I just removed the variation notes to make the kick sound more steady throughout the whole thing. After the kick, it was time for the clap. So yeah, basic thing here. And then on the first bar, I just added some kind of build up to the last clap here. It's a simple technique really used in other genres. I just wanted to implement it in this beat, so I repeated it over on the second part as well. After the clap, I went with the snare. Again, really simple stuff. Just 2 notes here to give some kind of bounce. And then this kind of roll here, which I repeated over on the second part as well. At this point, it was time for the hi-hat. So the usual, fill each 4 steps, then bring it over, bring down the velocity and randomize it to give the pattern some more. Then I added the rolls at the beginning of the pattern to give more attack to the drop. Then some steady hi-hat here, another roll. So really simple stuff. I just duplicated over for the second part as well. As you can see, in the second part, I just took out a roll because I wanted to change a bit from the first part. So yeah, I just put everything on the same note and not going up. And then I removed this part as well. And I made a variation here too. So steady notes here, and then a roll going down this time. Final touches for the drum part was actually the open hat. It's just following the kick note. At this point, I was done with the drums too. I just made some arrangement. So I let the low piano play just in the intro and during the hook. Then I took out the church bell for 16 bar. And I removed some pattern here and there to give the beat some more variation. I added my tag. I automated the sidechain as I told you before with the pad. And I added a riser. Here's the final product. I'm gonna let you hear it in a second. But first, I wanna thank you guys for watching and sticking with me until the end of the video. If you liked the video, maybe leave a like down here and a comment too, letting me know which kind of video do you want to see next. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel too if you're new, if you don't want to miss the next video. And yeah, that was everything for today. So I'm out. Peace.